Jake smirked. It was clear Marco thought this was the lead they'd been waiting for. So did I until 2 seconds ago. What you got? Jake took a moment more to scan the document. The truth being, it was no help at all. The lady's as miserly with her DNA as a nun with her virginity, he grinned. Thought you'd like that one. Marco pictured himself as a great Lothario. The Lothario looked relieved. He must have thought some evidence was better than none, and this was the first they'd had. So they say it's a woman. No, that was me. Gut instinct. Jake shoved the report into the folder on his desk. Well, I'm impressed, Marco snorted. Atkins will be too. Jake waited for the encore. You're not really trying hard enough, Jake. And the dire warning, it's going to cost you, us, the case. Jake had heard it too many times to be impressed by it. Marco was good at predicting worst-case scenarios. He liked to think it kept them on their toes. Good thing you're so easy to ignore, Jake told him, yawning. Works for me. It's a gift. You know what the problem is, don't you? You think she's right. Jake cut in with a quick, so you think it's a woman too? Marco shook his head. That was strictly PC. Woman, man, it makes no difference when you know nothing. We know something. A few somethings. Jake grabbed his jacket and the folder. But maybe we'd better leave before Atkins asks us exactly what they are. Once out in the hall, he tossed the folder to Marco. Both of them had taken those samples for the lab. You know, DNA is only as good as the people who sample it. Marco looked up quickly. We blew it? They'd worn gloves, been careful not to contaminate anything. Not exactly, Jake snorted. But if we go by those results, we're looking for a long-haired orange cat. Camellia Perigord McIntosh tugged at the mangled pile of mail in the box. The mail was jammed in, stuck there because one big blue envelope had been bent and forced in at an angle. A final yank extracted it and scattered the rest of her mail into the tall grass. Damn it! She scowled at the bold blue missive in her hands. Even half bent, it was ostentatious, unignorable. If the ad people can't get you with jingles, they'll get you with sheer mass. Frown deepening, Perry turned it over and saw the insignia. The sender hadn't considered a simple glue seal sufficient. There was a blood-red wax seal, too, stamped with the same crest which had been elaborately embossed in gold. Show off. Flippant words couldn't still the flickers of panic. Perry left the other mail where it lay and carried the thick document wallet toward the house with shaking hands. All the way there, her eyes furtively watched the road, the houses on either side, even the helicopter above her head. Thanks to Perry, her client now possessed enough money and prestige to undertake a search for her benefactor. And somehow, in some way, Perry had given away the game. Jake knew there was trouble from the moment Marco gave him Lady Donovan's address. She'd been Marco's last interview the day before. Either their question and answer session had been inordinately long, or it had become more interlude than interview. Jake took one look at Willis's face as he got in the car and slammed the heel of his hand on the steering wheel in frustration. Bloody hell! Marco was in love again. Marco Willis had no idea how transparent he was. His value lay not in any gift for subterfuge, but in the way people trusted him. And Jake didn't know anyone who could resist Marco's special brand of good-humored charm. The downside was Prince Charming tended to get way too close. It was damn hard to take a step back when you didn't leave room to move on your feet. Objectivity be hanged. Marco's lack of circumspection left Jake feeling surly. You slept with her. It wasn't exactly an accusation, more like a confirmation of Marco's guilt. And it must be obvious even to Marco that Jake Hastings was feeling anything but charming. But they both knew what Marco was. He had a weakness for females in distress. It didn't matter that the distressing circumstances were past events. Marco could commiserate almost as easily in retrospect. Jake hesitated, wondering whether he should shout this time, but it had never worked before, so there really wasn't much point. When Marco tossed him a Snickers, Jake gave up. He tore the wrapper and stuffed half of it in his mouth just to shut himself up. Funny how Marco always...